Hello, good day. My name is Ting. I am the principal trainer of Wisdom Solutions. In Wisdom Solutions, we are helping our clients and our students to understand and to acquire the skill in psychology and help them how to overcome the obstacles in their life. To be very particular, if the person is actually doing sales and we are helping them to increase their income, their sales targets. Especially now, this is the MCO time. Every one of us, we are actually very worried. What do we worry about? We worry about what is the sales target and how we are going to achieve it one day. When this MCO is already lifted, am I able to do it? And what should I do now? At this moment, should I continue to study my technical knowledge? Or should I go to learn from a lot of webinar or the Zoom sessions or going to the YouTube to learn the skill that I need to have acquired now? But a lot of times, we are actually looking outwards. We never going to look in. What is the most important thing for us to do now? When we cannot move, we cannot go and see our friends. And some people complain, I can't see my girlfriend or can't see my boyfriend. And when they go out to come together for dinner or anything, there is a lot of roadblocks and the problem arises. Therefore, at this moment, if we think back, when we cannot go out to see anybody, but we are just sitting inside the home, by nature, what should we do? Imagine now we are in a cave in the wilderness, in a country, the outside, nobody can reach us. We are just there by ourselves. No phone lines, no anything. Who are we going to connect to? We can only connect to ourselves. We can only connect to our environments. Or to certain people, we can only connect to God. Whether we believe it or we do not believe it, it doesn't matter. But this is the moment for us to look back inside our innermost being. The innermost being is actually making us who we are now, what we do now, and what we are going to do in the future. I'm going to start by telling us we have a past and we have a future. When we link our past and our future together, in psychology we say this is timeline. This is our timeline. Your timeline and my timeline could be very, very different. But no matter how you form your timeline, it doesn't matter. The most important thing inside the timeline is actually we store our memory. How are we going to do about this? Imagine this is our timeline. And here is our future. This is our past. Everything that is in the past. And here is now. This is where we are now. This is where we are now. And remember, when you and I was born into the world, we are actually a baby. A baby. What does the baby do? This is the baby. Wrapping up in the cloth, what we do? We sleep. When we wake up, then what we do? We cry. Why we cry? Because we're hungry. When we cry, we're hungry. We actually putting out the signal to get our caretaker or our parents to come over to feed us. If they don't come on time, the baby will cry more and more, louder and louder. The emotion involved here is actually angry. Or maybe at night, when the baby sleeps, it wakes up in the middle of the night because it's scared we say fear is actually forming in the baby. And all these emotions, we are forming every day, every moment. When we have angry, we have angry, we have angry, we have angry. Then all these emotions will actually link up together. So it's just like computer systems. The angry. All these incidents in the moment we put into the file, that computer file called angry. At the same time, the fear also doing the same thing. And it keep on putting in new experiences into the same file. This is the situations in terms of psychology, how a person is actually stored our past experience. So back to this baby. When the mom come over to change the wet diapers and to feed the baby with milk, after having the milk, the baby feel full. Then what do the baby do? The baby keep on smiling. Yes, when the baby keep on smiling, what is the emotion that happens? It's actually happiness. Happy. And this actually repeated every time. Repeated. And it also formed a folder. And this baby, when he play with the caretaker or the mom or the dad or the grandmother or whoever, he feel very content. And it actually accumulated as well. Same thing, all the emotions that we have in our life, psychologically we will form a folder. All the incidents we are actually putting inside that folder. And when we want to have it, we just have to go back to that particular folder and then we extract it. And then of course, this is baby. It's very, very simple. It's very simple. The emotion is actually only a few. But when we start to grow up, become a toddler, we learn how to crawl. When we learn how to crawl, we learn how to walk. And later we learn how to run. And when all these things happens, there are many things in our life that happen daily life experience. Some of it is very important. Some of it is very important. For example, in my case, I remember my grandfather passed away when I was only 7 years old. So when my grandfather passed away, I still can remember him because he is such a person important to me. Therefore, that particular incident, we call it significant emotional event. In short form, we call it a SEE. Every event that happened in our life is actually for us to carry an emotion because we put meaning into that incident. If we do not put the meaning into the incident, that incident is actually meaningless to us. For example, this MCO, somebody is actually cursing. Cursing here, cursing there, cursing the government, cursing everybody, cursing the dog. But some people actually find that this is a very good time for them to read. Some people find that this is a very good time for them to reflect back into their own, to look back into the past, to see how they can actually deal with the past and then carry forward. Now back to this boy. When this boy starts to grow up, it becomes a teenager. Yeah, maybe sometimes the teenagers start to have a courtship with the girls next door. They see the girls, they holding hands, they become lovers. So in their life, they start to learn how to love. In love, we feel the love, and then every time we have love, and every time when the lover quarrels, it actually produce hurt. And it becomes like this. Therefore, you can see When the boy from a baby become toddler, become teenager, become an adult, our emotion become more complex. It's so complex that sometimes when during a certain incident, we can have fear, we can have happiness, we can have confusions, we can have love exist in the same incidents. Therefore, all this happened in the past. If we do not let go, we do not deal with the problems, we are going to carry forward. That person now is actually carrying with him a lot of burden in the past. And can you imagine this type of person, when he carries so much burden, how can he go to the future? Imagine now I putting a person into the pool with the hand tied, with the leg tied, and ask him to swim. How can he swim? Probably in the YouTube, we see certain people, they do not have hands and they do not have legs, but they can actually swim. But imagine if we are a normal person with a free hand and free legs, we swim. Can we swim better? If we do not get rid of the past and we carry so much burden on us, and we try to work towards and we try to create a good future for us and for our family, it's very difficult. Therefore, we must know when the person coming from a broken family, if they do not deal with their past experience, their family is going to be broken. Because that particular person do not know how to become a good father or a good mother. What he learned to bring up the children is actually the imprint from his or her own family background. Therefore, we can't produce a good next generations if we cannot deal with the past. And this is very important at this moment. The MCO happened. How we look into the MCO situations. I am very fortunate. By my age, in 1996, when I graduated from my universities, and I actually facing the first economic downturn in my life. Probably there is another one, but I do not have any feeling because at that moment I'm still studying, but I start to work in 1996. That is the year when the Asian market is actually crashed. And we happen, of course, in the year 2000 again, and then even now, the global recessions because of the COVID-19. And how we are going to deal with all this is actually back into our past experience. And all this past experience with so-called significant emotional events, and all the events that happen in our life, in psychology actually we say it forms a filter in our mind. It forms a filter in our mind. Then what is this filter actually working? This filter is actually helping us to see, to reduce the information we receive daily. How we feel with MCO, how we deal with a certain thing is actually based on our filters. Therefore, it's very important for us to deal with all this emotion, especially all this red color, which means it's a negative emotion. Emotion can be positive, can be negative, and this is a two polarity in life. When there is something is negative happen, there must be something positive. But if we keep on focusing on the negative side, the negative become heavier, and then the positive become lighter. we need to have a balance. Too much on positive will endanger ourselves. Too much of the negativity will endanger ourselves. We need to have a balance. How are we going to do with the balance? In our school, Wisdom Solutions, we are going to teach you the skills. We are going to correct your filters so that when we have the learning in the past and we can actually carry forwards to deal with something that we want to have for ourselves and for our family. That makes a lot of difference. Therefore, friends, when you listen to me on this is actually a very preliminary for us to learn our psychology. In our psychology, it's so complex. It forms our mindset. It forms our characteristics. It forms our ability. And it forms how we deal with certain things that happen in our life. Therefore, friends, keep looking and keep following my video, which I'm going to post from time to time. And if you can, call me. Go to my page in the Facebook. I leave my handphone number there. Wisdom Solutions of NLP. If you want to know more, if you want to chat with me in PM, private message, do so. I'm more than happy to help you. Because in our school, I believe that when we clear off all these negative emotions, the future that we are going to build is actually something that is very beautiful. Whatever things that you want to do, you want to score A in your SPM, you want to score A in your A level. I'm not talking about single A, I'm talking about straight A, because myself have a very high standard on myself in terms of academic and in terms of work. I am that type of person. Therefore, I can actually help my students and my audience to achieve what they want in their life. But without settling off all the negative emotions, negative belief, and negative labeling that somebody actually put on us and then we believe that we are like that. For example, when we are young, people say, oh, you crazy fella, you lazy fella, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And we believe what they say. This is a false self-actualizations in ourselves. And we need to make it correct. We are not that type of persons. We are more than what we think we are. Because we are the best in the world. You and me are the only one. But because we carry a lot of burden in the past, people put the label on us, and then whatever label that we put on ourselves, I cannot do this, I fail one time, I fail second time, I fail third time, I say, that's it. My life is doomed. What can we do to have a better future? What can we have? A better family, a better relationships, a better spiritual life with our God that we believe in. These are all the things that we need to deal with. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me up to this point. And I welcome you to come and talk to me. And if you can, sign up with me to my course, and definitely I'm going to help you.